guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to review this highlighter palette for you guys. This is by Lancome. This is the box that it came in and the name of the palette is Glow For It palette, but I think this is more like a shade name, or I don't know what this is. The name of the palette is Glow For It in 02 Rose Twinkle, so probably they might come out in future with another palette. So it says down here, sculpting full face highlighter, buildable coverage. So this retails for $39 and the amount of product you get is 6.5 grams in total. Now this is a small palette, not like a 6-pan palette or anything. You get 3 shades here, so 6.5 grams altogether. So if you break it down, you kind of get 2.1 grams, something like that. So let's just round it to just 2 grams in each pan, which is actually not a lot of product. So personally I think this is slightly on the expensive side because you only get 3 shades and they're charging us $39. Another palette which is price similar is the Cover FX one, which is also $39, but you get like 6 shades in it. But let's talk about the formula and I'll show you guys the swatches. And this is the highlighter I have on today, which is so reflective and so beautiful. And yeah, and the color selection, I'll talk about that as well. So yeah, now 2 grams in each pan, so altogether 6.5 grams, not 2 grams exactly, 2 point something, so 6.5 grams in total for $39. And this palette is exclusive to Sephora and limited edition. This is released for the holiday season. So yeah, that's it I think we have here. Now just to clarify, Lancome has a brand new highlighter. I think they launched it very recently, maybe 2 months ago. It's called the Dual Intensity Highlighter Powder, I think, which is the kind of formula which can be used dry. So when you use it dry, it kind of gives you that medium metallic intensity, but when you wet it, it's just extremely intense, just that metallic high beaming effect. But the formula in here is not that at all. It's kind of annoying that Lancome doesn't really tell you what this is, what formula this is, because right now on Sephora's website I think the dual intensity highlighters are the only ones available, I think, for sale. So we don't know what formula this is because this is not that dual intensity at all. This is just another formula. This is a powder formula, by the way. It does say somewhere in the product page on Sephora website that this is a cream powder formula. It's not a cream at all. It's definitely a powder formula. It's a creamy powder, but it's not a cream formula. No. So it is a powder formula, but this is not the dual intensity Lancome highlighter that they recently launched, which I also reviewed here on my channel. This is just a beautiful powder formula, and once you swatch it, and this is the highlight I have on today, this is just a dry application, just here and also on the forehead. Yeah, let's get into the swatches and then yeah, I'll tell you guys how it performed. Now the packaging is, this is just a cardboard packaging. Honestly, this is not a good packaging. It's not sturdy at all. It kind of, when I'm trying to bend it, it bends like easily. So I don't think this is a good packaging for the price. I don't know, I think I feel they could have done better, but anyways. So you get 3 shades. This is actually a very deep bronze, and then you have like a pink, a pale pink, not very pale, to be honest. This maybe is a rose gold highlighter, but it's more on the pinkier side than the gold side. That's the highlighter that I have on today. It doesn't leave any white cast on my skin. And then this actually doesn't look very much in the pan, but this is a gold highlighter. And yeah, let's get into the swatches, guys. The consistency of the product is so smooth, it literally feels like I'm touching silk. It's extremely smooth and just glides onto the skin beautifully. That is just one swipe, and do you see how beautifully it glides on? So yeah, I'm so excited to share this review, guys, with you, because so that is just a dry application, guys. I guess you can also use it wet for a very intense look, or you don't even need to use it wet, to be honest. Just build it up, and it just, let's do this twice and you'll see how amazing it is. This is just, it looks like you've applied it wet, but no, I just built it up because even the slightest dry application itself was so intense. So that is the first shade, which was the bronze one. Now this shade, to be honest, it's dark. It doesn't look like it's very dark, but this one, this is actually quite dark, guys, even on my skin tone, because if I build it up, I can, this is not like a very golden bronze, this is actually a very cool tone bronze. So when I build it up, I can see that very dark brown line. I don't mind darker highlighters if that undertone, you know, the dark cast that it gives is like a blush toned one, like a coral one, or like a pink one, or like a reddish copper one. It kind of gives you a blushed look, but this, since this is on the brown side, this is like a cool toned copper, sorry, not copper, cool toned bronze. I can see a very cool toned brown line. It kind of looks dirty, and so yeah, I think I would have to with my skin tone, I would have to mix it up with any of the other shades, because it is definitely quite dark on my skin tone. So I think this shade would suit people with even more richer, deep, dark skin tone. I think it would just look fabulous on people with darker skin tone. And this is that effect. This is with 2 layers, and you guys saw how it looked with just 1 layer. So I just wiped it off. So my hand is slightly damp now, so we could probably see how it looks, the wet application. So this is that rose gold shade that you guys saw, and this is the shade I'm wearing now. Yeah, it looks kind of icy, but it has that, it's a deeper rose. It's not very pale frosty rose, that it doesn't leave any white cast on my skin. Obviously it doesn't leave a dark cast because it is like a, that is a fantastic rose gold shade. It's so beautiful, guys. I love the formula so much. So yeah, that is a shade. And then finally I'm doing this shade, which doesn't look very much, the pan, but it is a beautiful, I know these two kind of look the same, but when I build this up, the bronze shade, it gives me that like brown line. And but when I build this up, this just looks like gold. So yeah, they are like, all 3 look distinctly different on my skin. So let's just dip some, oh, the other hand. Let me just do it properly. I'm sorry, I'm working with left hand is not very comfortable for me. So that is the gold shade. So yeah, let's talk about the formula, guys. I am absolutely head over heels in love with the formula. It's fantastic. I know I've been raving about the Color FX palette, but honestly I love this better. Now let's focus on this, and then I'll kind of compare it with the Color FX highlighter palette. Now the formula, as I said, it feels like silk to touch the powders. They are so finely milled. Now this, oh wait, this shade, I think you can see there is some visible shimmers in it, the rose gold shade, but these two are completely finely milled. But the shimmers that you see in the rose gold shade adhere beautifully to the skin. They don't fall off or anything, and it is not chunky glitter, but you can see the shimmers. They are visible shimmers, but they adhere beautifully to the skin, and when you blend it, it doesn't like fall off or anything. They just complement the skin. You guys can see how reflective it is, like it, right? It gives that beautiful wet look. This is the highlight I have in the brow bone here, and then on my forehead. It just, you can't tell where the product begins and where the product ends. That how it just melts into the skin, guys. And it is a powder formula. It is not the baked gelée formula or anything, because baked gelée are more kind of, you know, pressed a little bit harder, and they, you know, have the gel kind of effect. But these are just powder highlighters, and they are fantastic. Truly, just at least give it a try and you'll know what I mean. They are so intense, as you saw just with the one layer of a dry application with the dry brush. You guys saw the first in a shade which I swatched, the bronze one. You guys saw how intense it was. It just gives a beautiful wet looking highlighter, and moreover I just absolutely love that this complements dark skin beautifully. Of course I do have this shade, the deep cool bronze shade, which is very dark for me, so I would have to mix it in probably with the rose gold highlighter or the gold highlighter, but I think it just complements every skin tone. Now as for the medium skin tone and the lighter skin tone, pale skin tone, I'm not sure how well these shades will complement them, because as I said, they are on the dark. This one is even darker for me, the cool bronze, and then this is definitely, it's not very frosty, as you can see. It definitely has a rosy tone, so probably you could use these as blushes, but or blush toppers if you have like a lighter skin tone or a medium skin tone. But I think probably they might be darker for medium skin tone, lighter skin tone, but this is an absolute hit for darker skin tone and deep dark richer skin tones. So formula wise, this is amazing, but it's a little bit annoying that Lancome doesn't really tell us what's the name of the formula. Maybe is this a new formula? They could have just told us that this is they're debuting a brand new formula to the market. They don't tell us anything about the formula. They just say that it's you know, like a powder highlighter, which is it can be easily built up for a very intense look, stuff like that. So these are not the dual intensity highlighters that Lancome recently released. These are not that. These are so much better than that. They are good, but this is just fantastic, guys. I highly recommend you get this. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, another highlighter palette which is priced similar to this is the Cover FX one, which has 6 highlighters in a palette. Now I like that too, but I feel the formula on these are truly special. It's truly special, truly outstanding. Like the Cover FX highlighters are really good. They are finely milled, and they are like medium toned highlighters, medium intense highlighters, medium metallic, you know, but they can be built up definitely. And there are shades that leave a white cast on a darker skin, but there's also a very dark bronze shade which can be mixed, and it could be like which actually completely removes the white cast. Yes, that is true, but formula wise, I just love the formula. This just I think tops every other highlighter that I've used so far, and I've used like Becca highlighters, Max, Extra Dimension Skin Finishes. I don't know, guys, this is just fantastic. I just love how silky it is, not just to the touch and also on the skin. It's just beautiful. Now I'm not wearing any makeup base, so I'm just wearing this on like just bare skin almost, just with some moisturizer and some powder. On top of that, I've just used it, so I don't know, it just flatters skin so beautifully. You can build it up as much as you want, and it will not emphasize any texture. It just actually, in fact, it kind of makes your skin also kind of look like silk. It just I feel it complements all kinds of skin types beautifully. It doesn't emphasize any texture. It just glides smoothly on the skin. You don't have to go back and forth and like blend it or anything, because as I said, it just melts into the skin by itself. And there are no chunky glitters. It just doesn't emphasize fine lines. And there are some formulations like the Becca formula, which is really good, but when you go in and apply a lot, it kind of makes your it kind of gives the appearance that your skin is dry and kind of wrinkled. Now Becca formula does that, and Lancome's dual intensity powder also does it. So if you like go in and apply a lot, it will give that appearance of a dry skin. So these do not do that. It's just fantastic in every way. like the texture to even touch it, and there is no chunky glitter. The intensity and the color selection here that we have, it just complements every skin tone. Well, not every skin tone, I'm sorry. I think they say on the product page of Sephora website, it says that it is the kind of thing, no, the shade and the formula of the powders. It's something that complements every skin tone. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure, guys, whether this will complement every skin tone, because the deep bronze here actually gave me a white cast. Sorry, dark cast. Very, very dark brown cast. So it says here, Sephora exclusive all over face palettes for featuring beautifully neutral shades for cheeks, eyes, and lips on all skin tones. So yeah, that's what they say, you guys. There's not much information on the actual formula. You know, it just says here, the silky cushion cream powder gives you a buildable glow from a subtle highlight to bold color. I don't see anything subtle about these. They are just, if you just dip your brush in, it just gives you like a very intense look. So yeah, you guys, I think I favor this more than the Cover FX one. I just love the formula. It's just fantastic, and I just love the way it looks on my skin, and I just love that there are no shades here that give me a white cast. You know what I mean? That really bothers me sometimes, that I would have to go in and mix in. But the Cover FX ones definitely get a wide variety. There's a rose gold one, there's a gold one, there's a bronze, and there's a blue highlighter. So definitely color selection wise, that is better, I feel. And also the price and the amount of product you get, yes. But I have fallen in love with the formula. Just the formula truly is kind of unbeatable for me. It's just fantastic. So yeah, you guys, hope you guys found this video useful. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please subscribe. Bye.